Once, a man came to live in the hermitage of Gautam Buddha. After spending 2 days in the peaceful surroundings, he approached Buddha and said, "Buddha, I have some questions that are troubling me. I came here to find answers." Buddha gently replied, "Ask what is on your mind." The man said, "Buddha, I am not happy with my life at all. My life feels like a series of endless troubles and sorrows. Nothing seems to go right for me. I want to know why this is happening to me. Why am I so unlucky?" Buddha asked, "First, tell me, what exactly is the cause of your sorrow? What are the things that are making you so upset and worried?" The man thought for a moment, then said, "What kind of question is this? I came to you with a question, and instead of answering, you're asking me something else?" Buddha smiled and said, "If you don't know the reason for your sorrow, how can you expect me to know it?" The man responded, "But Buddha, people say you are enlightened, that you know everything, even the thoughts of others. So, you should know the reason for my sorrow." Buddha smiled again, this time more seriously, and said, "You're mistaken if you think that someone else can come and take away all your troubles. That's not how it works. You are the only one who can save yourself from your problems. If you believe you've reached enlightenment, then you can solve your problems yourself. I am just like you, the only difference is that I see things clearly. The day you solve your life's problems, you won't need to come to me or anyone else for help." Buddha then asked, "Have you ever looked closely at a flower?" The man, surprised, said, "Buddha, a flower is a simple thing. Everyone has seen it." Buddha explained, "A flower starts as a bud in the morning, blooms in the daylight, and wilts by evening. If the flower only worried about withering by evening, it would never be able to bloom. Similarly, if you focus only on your sorrows, you will never find happiness. I want you to know that there are still many things in your life that can bring you joy if you pay attention to them. Focus on the good things in your life instead of the weaknesses. If you want happiness in your life, you must follow this eternal rule, focus on the good and positive aspects of life. I can show you the way, guide you on how to walk it, but it is you who must take the steps." Hearing these words, the man sat quietly, deep in thought. After a while, he asked, "But Buddha, can my whole life really be fixed by just one approach?" Buddha began to answer softly, "Imagine if a fortune teller told you that you would die by this evening. Would you still worry about the things that trouble you now? Those problems wouldn't even cross your mind. At that moment, you'd only be concerned with the reality of death. Suddenly, you'd realize that the things you once thought were your biggest problems were nothing at all. You'd understand that worrying is pointless, especially when life is so short." He continued, "People speak of death, but never truly accept that they too must leave this world one day. Their desires are so strong that they think they are immortal. Happiness and sadness are not permanent, they are created by our actions and thoughts." The man, listening intently, interrupted, "So, are you saying I should always think about death? Will that solve all my problems?" Buddha replied, "No, not at all. You don't need to dwell on death, but you must accept that your time in this world is uncertain. As long as you are here, live happily with the good things happening in your life. This mindset will bring you peace. Control your mind, and gradually, your problems will diminish. Most sorrows arise from desire. If you treat your mind like a child's, you'll find inner peace." The man asked, "You mentioned controlling the mind. How can I control such a restless mind?" Buddha said, "First, understand the difference between happiness and sorrow. You need to know what these mean to you. Through practice, train your mind so that you neither get too happy during good times nor too sad during bad times. You must strive to stay balanced, what I call the middle way. If you dig deep into your life, you'll find that you are the cause of your sorrows. Your desires, attachments, and longings are all created by your mind. Control your mind, and your sorrows will fade." After hearing Buddha's teachings, the man was filled with a sense of calm. Buddha then said, "If you do one more small thing, you will see that all the sorrows of your life will end forever." Excited, the man asked, "What do I need to do?" Buddha replied, "For the next 2 days, do not speak to anyone. Take some paper, sit alone in a quiet place, and write down all the sorrows that trouble you. Write down the reasons for these sorrows. On another page, write down the things that bring you happiness and the reasons for that happiness. Take your time, there's no need to rush. Think carefully and write. The man bowed to Buddha and spent the next 2 days in reflection. When he returned to Buddha, he had several papers in his hands. Buddha said, "First, read aloud the sorrows you've written." The man began reading, "My family is wealthy, but I am poor and working. I am not successful in my work, and I often compare myself to others. Many people around me have savings, but I have nothing. The reason is that I earn little and spend too much. My wife has been sick for a long time, and I believe I am the cause of her illness, because I never took her to a doctor. I once had a selfish wish to marry a more beautiful woman if she were to die, but that didn't happen, and now I can't bear this sorrow. I waste money on drinking, and though I live happily during the day, I keep watching as things go wrong." The man paused, reflecting on his words, and said, "Buddha, these are the biggest sorrows in my life. After thinking deeply, I realized that many of them were caused by my own actions and thoughts. In the last 2 days, I have experienced a peace and joy I've never felt before. The list of reasons for my happiness is long, but I will share a few with you." Buddha smiled and said, "Please, share some of them." The man continued, "First, I am alive and healthy. I have parents, a wife, and 2 children who love me. I can work hard and provide for my family. I am grateful that I can live a life of humanity and leave behind bad habits. The greatest happiness for me is that I now understand my desires and attachments are the root of my suffering. I will do my best to know myself and not let worries and sorrows control me." Buddha nodded in approval and said, "There is no need to share all the reasons for your happiness. You have understood the essence. Life is too short to let worries and sorrows enslave you. Sit quietly, understand the cause of your sorrow, and work to eliminate it. In this way, you will find lasting peace and happiness." The man, now enlightened, left with a heart full of gratitude and a mind at peace.